All right, we're live. What's good, everybody? We got me, Dale, Yash in here talking some ball. It's a good Monday. How you boys doing today?
Feeling okay. I might lose my one match against Dustin, bro. Top seed versus bottom seed. I might lose. Stupid.
Yeah, I think
I'm
you're.
feeling pretty good. I was just gonna say I feel pretty good. I have like one league where I've got JT, and you just wake up at like 9 a.m. You're like, oh my gosh, I won my week. Like it's already over. So that feels good. A couple other leagues where I'm struggling, but nice to see JT have a huge bounce back.
Yeah, insane performance from JT. Definitely decided some fantasy outcomes. I was on the good side of that, but I was also on the bad side of that in a few spots too. So,
Big liquid
Yash,
cheese.
I was gonna say I think the fantasy gods made you pay for benching Josh Allen over Michael Thomas.
Dude, I was just too confident, bro. I was trying to put in the second team, rest of the starters against Dustin, bro. And puts up his season high in points against me.
This is the Devon A. Chain show, bro.
Not even that, dude. Like his tight ends both dropped 20. Like,
Who do you have?
I think he has Dalton Schultz and
Yeah.
someone else, Tyler Warren.
Yeah. And then his quarterback did well too, right?
Yeah, he had Dart. So
Yep.
those four combined put up like 120.
Sounds about right. Um, well, first thing I want to get into, we're talking about Devon A. Chain, but shout out Devon A. Chain because that man helped me bring down $2,000 over the weekend. Uh,
Big
you
ups.
guys see it. If you're in the Discord, you already know. But I took down the hurry up over the weekend, which is just awesome. It's funny enough too. Like, of course, this week is the week that we didn't draft any of these on stream, and actually, let me tell you guys a little background on how I took down this tournament this week. So it's Saturday night. I'm yet to get any drafts in. I'm like chilling at my girlfriend's house. Like she fell asleep. I'm just sitting there in bed, like looking at the slate for tomorrow. And I'm like, I had like $15 in underdog. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hop in some hurry ups for tomorrow. I also hopped in two double reverses too. So I think I spent $19 on the slate, and these are all Saturday night. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
I'm just gonna enter some drafts to get a little bit of sweat on the slate on Sunday. I had some takes I wanted to kind of put out there. I wanted to get some Dart shares. I wanted to get some JMO shares. I was big on those two guys. Um, I was big on Odunze too. And so yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Sitting in bed, drafting some teams. I ripped these all at the same time too. So I wasn't even like really like super locked in on any of these. And then I just so happened to strike gold with one of these lineups. We get there with the Dart Gibbs, A-Chain, Odunze, JMO, Trey McBride lineup, which is just sweet to take home, man. Two bands off
Dang.
$3. The
Yeah.
nuts. Obviously, you needed Gibbs, A-Chain on this slate. Third round, we went Trey McBride. He was the tight end you needed. And then we went Jackson Dart, Dart got hurt and didn't even really reach his true ceiling because I think he would have maybe scored another 4 or 5 points if he played the rest of the game. And then at wide receiver, we go Odunze and JMO. And JMO's really the guy we needed. 20% drafted, drops 20 for us. And Odunze drops 17 at the 83% drafted. You guys got any thoughts on the lineup? Any questions about how I got on these? Any takeaways?
What pick were you?
I was the fourth pick.
Okay. So
So I started.
you go Gibbs and then you go Achan on the turn.
I went Gibbs, A-Chain, McBride, Dart, Odunze, JMO.
Surprised that Doomsday
It's
fell that
crazy.
far.
Yeah, where was I guess was Adunze falling? Was he, being drafted a whole lot? I mean, 80% seems low. I mean, I know he's
He was
coming
just
off
kind of
a
going in
big
that
week.
range. There was like a clump of like him, Olave, trying to remember who else was kind of in that range. I think Waddle. Like it was kind of just a group of those guys that were going like end of drafts. And Odunze, I might have got him like slightly past ADP or like right around, but I mainly took him to like game stack with Dart as the Bream back. Um, And I know there was also concerns about the weather in that game, so that also could have been a factor in why I was able to get Odunze where I got him. But I was kind of fading that noise. It seemed like they said like 20-mile-an-hour winds, which is bad. Like obviously that's not ideal, but that's not anything like super, super crazy where I'm like, I don't want to draft any pieces from that game. So I think that might have been a factor in why Odunze slid a little bit. Which, by the way, he was close to even having a bigger game. There was a 40-yard touchdown that he was wide open and Caleb overthrew him. So I was yelling at my TV when that happened at first, but awesome to see him end up getting there anyways. It's funny that he did this too after the 0-point performance last week.
So what do the second and third place teams go here? Like, what are their teams looking like?
Yeah.
Are they pretty different from yours? Is it basically everything the same? Like,
so it's the only same pieces are Gibbs and A-Chain. And then they had Caleb instead of Dart, which is crazy. Caleb's only 20% drafted. Then they had Nico, Olave, Kittle.
Okay.
Yeah. So my Odunze to JMO and McBride with their Nico, Olave, and Kittle. Which honestly, I think that I just got lucky with JMO, man. JMO is really the reason I won this. But another thing that I noticed and am keeping an eye on rest of the season is this Washington secondary is awful. Like, they're slow. They play a lot of man coverage, and then Marshawn Lattimore's done for the year, who was supposed to be their number one guy, but he wasn't even playing very well. Yeah, but now this team is just like a matchup we really want to exploit, and I kind of had that approach with the Lions. That's how I landed on both Gibbs and JMO. I know I wasn't really worried about that defense. I know it's kind of lacking speed, so it seemed like a game that both Gibbs, A-Chain. I was drafting Gibbs, JMO. I was drafting Amon-Ra too. I was worried Goff was going to bury me because Goff was like throwing so many touchdowns early that I was scared he was going to end up being the quarterback you needed. But because Gibbs scored those 2 long touchdowns, he ended up being the guy you needed most on the Lions.
So JT not really on these top teams. I'm assuming that he wasn't probably like a. Oh, okay, because it's just like too early.
Yeah, because he was the 6 a.m. game.
Gotcha.
And this is the third place team. So this one had the same as me, but my JMO and Trey McBride was there, Ibuka and Juwan Johnson.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, Juwan was another guy I liked a lot this week too. So that was cool to see him on another one of these top teams.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just super glad to finally take one of these down. It's pretty funny that things work, right? That the week I only did 5 entries is the week that this goes down. So super cool. But
what I'd be interested to see is if you can like draw some data from this, like especially because you seem like you do the main slate like pretty often. Like, I wonder if you can like take a snapshot of all the winners of the main slate throughout every 18, all 17, 18 weeks, whatever, and see if there's some kind of, pattern going on there. Like, hey, people are crushing when they, go RB heavy and draft 2 really strong RBs. And then they, can maybe hit some kind of lottery wide receivers, or, hey, these wide receiver, like the top wide receivers are really carrying teams in the slate. Like, that's something I'd be interested to see, because I feel like this kind of draft is not nearly as, researched and kind of looked at as something like Best Ball Mania. And it seems like, if you make the right picks and you can kind of find a pattern here, like you can do some damage for sure.
Yeah, there's some edges to exploit in these for sure. So I didn't play last week's slate, the week 9 slate, but this is the week 8 winner. And the biggest thing I've noticed of these winners, they all just have the nuts at running back, right? Like they just have the 2 true ceiling outcomes at running back. And I think you're kind of dead going the 3 wide receiver builds, to be honest. I think you got to go 2 running backs. You got to go 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end. So this team had Hurts, Cook, 46% at Breece Hall, Chase Pittman. This wide receiver isn't really
His cheeks.
Yeah, 15 and 19. Only 141. Let's look at another winner. So that was week 8. This is week 7. So this one had Herbert, JT, Swift, AJ Brown, Olave. Okay, I guess this one is kind of wide receiver ceilings too.
But those aren't like wide receivers that you're drafting like, first, like second round, like third round, even like AJ Brown, Chris Olave are probably some guys that are falling a bit. Like it's definitely interesting to see. What's up, Sophie? What's up, ATO?
What's good, ATO?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with your 2 bins? You gonna reinvest it into Underdog, or you got that out of there, and you're gonna go take yourself out to a nice dinner? Like, what's the plan there?
So I already pulled out 1,000 for the student loans. That's Mando.
There you go.
And then I left. I think I'm gonna leave like 200 in Underdog. Use that for the next couple weeks of drafting, and then 800 to just do whatever with. I'm going to the Raider game in Vegas next weekend, so kind of perfect timing to win some money for that. Maybe play some craps with my winnings. Who knows?
We love craps.
Dang.
But yeah, Dale, that's a good point about these drafts. I think I might go through some of these and just kind of look at any patterns I see. The biggest kind of takeaways I have, like now that I've taken down one of these, is like you need the running back nuts. You need you need a tight end that can separate, and you need a quarterback that can separate or be in like the top echelon. Like I think that the scrolls, I think that what's a viable build is kind of like how I did here, 2 running backs. You go maybe wide receiver quarterback or wide receiver tight end, and then you kind of take your shot on a wide receiver in the 6th round. I think is kind of the way that might be best to play these.
Yeah, running back seems like definitely you need to kind of have the top tier ones, because somebody's going to go for like 3 touchdowns every week. There's going to be somebody that does it, right? So like you kind of need to have that guy. Yeah,
great matchup. Like Breece Hall against the Bengals a couple weeks ago was the guy you needed, and DeAndre Swift against, I think it was the Bengals too, was the guy you needed. Maybe just whatever running back's playing the Bengals is the guy you want to get.
Yeah, low-key.
Hey, low-key the Bills too, man. I thought they were off the target sheet for defenses we win at target, but clearly not.
Yeah, A-Chain. So actually, since we didn't do any of these on stream, this is kind of interesting. So the way the turn was playing out, it was Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Cook, Rico Dowdle, A-Chain. And I wasn't getting any Rico. I was just going James Cook and A-Chain if I could on the turn there. And I was preferring A-Chain to James Cook just because I felt Cook was a little more game script dependent. And Miami's actually like sneakily been better against the run these last couple weeks. So I think we might need to rethink through them as like, oh, this worst. I still don't think they're a great run defense, but they're not the worst.
Right.
But yeah, A-Chain over Dowdle just seemed like a smash when we're talking about like true ceiling outcomes. I don't think Dowdle had quite that same chance that A-Chain would have in a game script like Panthers Saints. I just didn't love that game. Felt gross. Yeah. I think that's going to wrap up talks for this. And then let's just talk through kind of the slate overall. Let me pull up all the matchups and we can kind of walk through some of these games and maybe anything that was interesting. Then we'll finish off talking about the game tonight a little bit, maybe fill out a pick 'em slip with some of those winnings from yesterday. Yeah. So let's go through. We already talked about the Thursday night game earlier in the week. Nothing really crazy to take away. Falcons Colts. JT, unbelievable performance, 286 total yards, 3 touchdowns. Is he the MVP of the NFL this year?
I would like to say yeah, but given that CMC didn't even win it, like doubt it. We'll probably go to like some QB.
I think it might be Stafford if it's not him at this point.
Dude, Stafford's a nice little sleeper, bro. He's playing off his mind right now.
On pace for like 40 plus touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Like, dude, that's MVP numbers.
Yeah,
I love quarterbacks.
I would love to see an MVP go to a running back. Like, it'd be cool if JT could win it, but it's just such a quarterback, heavy
Quarterback award.
award. Yeah, like it's hard for me to imagine a non-quarterback winning it, but that would be dope. Like if anybody, it's going to be him this year.
For sure. Yeah, so I think JT's obviously the biggest takeaway. Like, is he now in a tier of his own with the running backs? And I'll pivot off of that before you guys answer that in talking about Bijan Robinson on the other side of things and Tyler Algier getting 11 carries and 2 red zone carries and scoring touchdowns on both of them. Do you guys think Bijan needs to be lowered a tier? Is JT kind of in a tier of his own now? Maybe with CMC, is Bijan still in that range for you guys? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think that for me, I'm going to keep CMC up there. I think I'm also going to keep Bijan up there. If this continues to happen, if this happens again next week, then maybe I change things up a little bit. But I mean, we've known that, the Falcons like to use Algier a little bit. Sometimes he'll sneak in there for a red zone touch or two, steal something from Bijan. But I don't think, throughout the course of the season, Bijan's been great. He hasn't really been hindered by it. It's this 1 week that kind of sucks. If it continues to happen, then maybe we'll have to drop him a little bit. But for now, I think I'm going to leave him in S tier.
I don't know if it really has been just this week, though. That's the thing. Like, you look at he had that great game against the Bills, right, where he dropped over 170 or 238 yards, broke off that long touchdown. But then you look at these next couple of weeks, it's 21 points, 6 points, 17, 10 points, like only one over 20-point game, 2 really subpar performances. And Tyler Algier's like pretty much splitting touches with him. That's kind of the concerning thing, like, and taking the goal line opportunities, which is just obviously that's 6 points right there. That really limits your true ceiling if you're going to be losing those end zone opportunities. I think personally I'm lowering Bijan in A tier just because with CMC and JT as I have here, I just think these guys have no question marks on terms of sharing touches. I think CMC, like Brian Robinson, will daddle a little bit, but Bijan like truly is splitting touches, and especially in the red zone, which is why I think he needs to. Because you look at Gibbs, he splits touches. A-Chain, offensive concerns. James Cook, a little more game script dependent. I think Bijan is now kind of more in those range guys than S tier as things stand.
The way I'm kind of looking at Bijan right now is I think he's a great running back. You know who else I think is a great running back? Ashton Genty. The problem, they're both on bad teams. Like the Falcons shouldn't be a bad team, but they kind of really are. They're 3-6. Penix is playing like a below average to average quarterback. It's a concentrated offense between literally just Bijan, Drake London, and it seems like Kyle Pitts sometimes, and Tyler Algier just has a role still. But that's not what I want from my S tier running back. Like, I want a guy who's going to get those touchdowns if they don't come that often. Like, Genty, if you just look at Genty's score, add a touchdown to every week, right? Let's just assume he gets a touchdown every week. Let's assume he's on a good offense. He would be a smash, but he's not, right? So I feel like we kind of need to look at Bijan there. Obviously, his floor is higher because he's like CMC, right? Like he runs hella routes. But I think that's a good take to lower him into A tier and not really have him in that upper echelon.
Yeah. Okay. Now that I'm looking at the numbers, I think I'll take my take back. I mean, I didn't know that Tyler was getting this many touches. He's gotten 16 touches twice, 11 touches, 10 touches. Like it's kind of a lot.
Going off that, was Arthur Smith actually the problem in Atlanta, or some other problems there? Because like I know we were all mad about the Bijan and Kyle Pitts usage when he was there, but has it really changed?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Let's talk about Michael Penix and just this passing game. Where are you guys at on Penix? As someone who was like definitely a believer in him coming out as a prospect, I really liked him at UW. I saw what he did with Odunze. I saw what he made Jalen McMillan and Jalen Polk look like, and thought he was going to be good at the next level. Eye test wise, it feels like he misses a lot of throws. Like, and it's just he's not as crisp and precise with his throws as he was in college, it feels like to me. Like there's just a lot of throws that he's missing short, missing a lot of guys. Like I don't know how else to say it.
Here's where I'm at
Yeah.
with Penix. As a 2-league dynasty owner of Penix, I drafted him in Superflex and in the 4th round of a 1 QB, absolute steal. I'm waiting until year 3. That was what we were projecting him out for, right? We were projecting him out to be, needs some work, sit
What's up,
behind Kirk
Brando?
Cousins for 3 years, right? Like that was the pre-draft process, right? So before I give my stamp of this guy's going to be a backup quarterback his whole career, I'm going to give him year 3, but definitely not excited for that year 3.
Yeah, I'm not completely out on Penix. I'm not saying backup QB.
Well,
I think he's gonna play out the rest of his rookie deal. I'm just more. I don't know if he's gonna be a fantasy difference maker. He might just be a guy.
Are you worried? Are you ready to panic on Daniel Jones? One of my friends texted me that, and my exact answer was, "I'll take 9 weeks of good football over 2 weeks of mediocre football." Right? Like Daniel Jones has been playing good all season. Traded both their 1st-round picks. Probably going to re-sign him, or I don't know, pick up Kyler Murray in free agency or something weird. I'm still in on Daniel Jones though. How about you guys?
I think so as well. I think I'm still in on Daniel Jones. I mean, still threw for 250 yards this week. He only throws for 1 touchdown, but I like it. I mean, I don't think there's a big enough sample size of him performing poorly to really nuke him in my rankings or anything like that.
I'm not out yet. The issue with him though recently is he's been turning the ball over way too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fumbling.
7 sacks.
I think he had 3 fumbles this game, and I believe he had 3 the week prior to. So that's 6 fumbles in the last 2 weeks. And that was something he showed a lot in Pittsburgh. I mean, not in Pittsburgh.
New York.
Against Pittsburgh last week, but against New York, or in New York, he turned the ball over way too much, right? And through the first 8 weeks of the season, he wasn't doing that. And then we've seen that the last 2 weeks, him kind of return to that form. I'm not out. I'm still fine with him in fantasy. I think he is going to be a starter in the NFL for the next couple of years, but it is a little worrisome. I still think he's in a great situation. And I think the fantasy takeaway for me is that maybe we just need to be more careful about him when he's matched up against teams that have a pretty good pass rush. The Falcons were getting home all day, it's weird because that was kind of the biggest concern with the Falcons last season was their pass rush, but they really addressed it this year. They drafted guys early. They brought in some guys, and I don't know who the right tackle is for Indianapolis right now, but he was getting cooked all game, just watching. And so it's hard to really fault the quarterback when you don't have time, but I think that's just kind of what we need to be considering. I think he's just kind of more of a flex matchup dependent QB.
Right.
Yeah, I think matchup dependent is a good way to put it. Before we move on to the next game, do you want a victory lap Alec Pierce or?
Not too much, but I'll take it a little bit. 4 for 84 and a touchdown. We've been saying he's due for a touchdown. I wish I bet it because I was actually the night I was drafting my teams, I was also staring at some props and I was looking at Alec Pierce longest reception in the face and didn't end up pulling the trigger. But
big longest reception guy over here. I hate that bet.
Alec Pierce hits his every single week.
It's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
70 snaps to Pittman 60 and downs 34 this week, by the way.
Yeah, Pittman was pretty non-existent. I feel like he was drawing AJ Terrell for a lot of this game. And the Falcons, like we said, the pass rush was getting home. I'm not taking this as a super big – I'm not panicking on Pittman because of this game. I think it was just kind of a game where they just had to slam Jonathan Taylor 32 times, and then that kind of opened up the play action for Tyler Warren. And that's why we saw Warren so involved compared to the rest of these receivers. I don't think Daniel Jones really had time to get downfield. And Atlanta's pretty good in the secondary in the back half, so I'm not really panicking on Pittman too much. Yeah. All right.
And you know what, Atlanta, since you're in here, I'm gonna shout that he did mention the receiver shadow stuff, and I just have that whole spreadsheet up with percents.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's lining up. I mean, it had Josh Downs and Alec Pierce with really light matchups this week, and they both kind of smashed. And they had Pittman with a bad
Downs
matchup,
did
and he
nothing.
didn't. I mean, compared to Pittman, bro, you've got like what 9 points.
I mean, Downs had 1 reception for 3 yards.
Yeah, so I mean, at least Pierce hit, but I don't know. It's something I do want to look at as we go through these games. Maybe not bring it up every single time, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely looking over at it. And Mando, I appreciate you having us in your ear at work. Love that.
Yeah, hell yeah, Mando. Yeah, it's a good shout, ATL. I've looked at Shadow Report stuff before, but I haven't really been super into it this year. But maybe that's something we can kind of start looking at moving forward. Let's get to this next game, Giants Bears. First off, shout out Jackson Dart, man. What helped me win 2 bands. Love to see it. Dable just got fired this morning. Any
What?
takeaways for that? Yeah, did you not see? Dable got
No,
fired.
dude. I woke up at like noon.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Dable's out in New York.
Wow.
Dude, who do you think's gonna hire him? I saw like some teams should be looking into like new head coaches. Like he's definitely gonna be up there, no?
John Gruden.
I think he'll go somewhere to be an OC.
Wow.
I think he'll go work with, because Dable's whole thing, right, is he's good for developing quarterbacks, right? He helped develop Josh Allen. I really liked what he was doing with Dart. I do think it was kind of inevitable he was going to be on the way out with the way this Giants team has kind of crumbled in so many games. Like, 2-8 now, only 2 wins on the year, and a lot of these losses are games that they were ahead, had big leads, and they blew them, right? So it's kind of hard to keep your coach after 4 years of just kind of the same stuff. He got to the playoffs 1 year, but the other 3 years have been a shit show with them picking in the top 5, top 10 those years. He got his quarterback now, which it is kind of a bummer for him that he gets the boot halfway into his rookie quarterback season. And I don't know how I feel about this firing for the development of Dart.
I don't like it, but I can see why.
I can see why they got rid of Dable, yeah, but I just I see both sides. Like I get why they did it. I don't know if I love the timing of it. That's what I'll say.
They're 2-8 and they've injured like 2 of their rookie playmakers, like damn near every game. Like I know Cam Scott like broke his ankle, but even before then, bro, like
Neighbors is kind of fluky.
Accident, but like
to be honest.
Should we be making design quarterback runs when we're 2-8? Like, should we be putting all that pressure on our rookie QB and putting him in these dangerous situations when he's seeming like the franchise guy? Although I don't like that for my earlier takes in the season. But like as like a franchise perspective, I don't know if I want that right now. I don't want my quarterback for the rest of the future to be running the ball 10 times into linebackers and being in concussion protocol every other week.
I think that's a good point. It doesn't seem sustainable. Doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense when you're, definitely not going to make a run this year. Do you think there's any fault for Dart, though? I mean, it seems like he's the kind of guy that just likes taking hits. Like, you think that he should be getting down more? You think it's just the coach's fault? Like, combination of both a little bit?
Dable could have coached that up like week 4, bro.
He was sliding more in the first half of this one. I will say, like, I saw him slide a couple times in the first half, but then the second half, he took that big hit, obviously. Right. I'm with you that like I don't understand why Dable is running him into the ground, but I will say, like, to Dable's credit, like I feel like Jackson Dart has been improving every week. Like, just from watching eye test wise, like he's been hitting throws. And when he first took over the starting job, we kind of said like, yeah, it might be kind of some like fluky stuff where it's a lot of RPOs, a lot of short stuff, a lot of like 2 tight end personnel. I was watching a breakdown on this, actually. I think it was Hayden Winks and Josh Norris were talking about it on their channel, but the Giants were kind of having him do like more traditional like NFL quarterback stuff where he's like under center, dropping back, hitting dig routes over the middle, like things like that we really didn't see his first couple starts, which I think that's super encouraging to see him kind of growing as a passer and developing. And that reason is why I'm kind of a little shaky on the Dable hiring, like getting rid of that guy who's been, key to his development, right, to this point. But it'll be interesting to see who they bring in to replace him. And I'm interested to see where Dable goes, right? I imagine he'll go somewhere with another young quarterback, maybe offensive coordinator job again. Let's talk about this backfield. Tyrone Tracy, 14 carries for 71. Like, do him or Singletary even matter in fantasy right now?
I mean, you can make the argument for Tyrone just getting his backfield back. I mean, if he gets a touchdown, he kind of gets you there in fantasy with like hypothetically 14 points. I hate giving the hypothetical touchdown, but I mean, he's not someone I'm excited about. Like he's a low end RB2, high end RB3. My biggest takeaway is Theo John, man. My goat. Loving him.
Yeah, he looked good.
Colston Loveland's slowly starting to do more as well. I think he's,
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling pretty good about if you got Colston Loveland stashed on your bench. Like, big week last week, does all right this week. I'm kind of excited about it.
And this one with Kmet back too.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk about Tyrone Tracy a little bit. Yeah, I think he's like a borderline flex play. Like Josh said, I'm not happy to start him at all, but I think that there's a world in which he gets there handful of weeks down the road, but just not anybody that I love starting.
Yeah. Talk about Chicago side of things. Swift out touches Monangai 18-7. That was kind of speculated that could be more of a 50-50 split after what Monangai showed these last couple weeks, but it looks like they went with majority Swift in this one. Odunze Bats is back after the goose egg, helps me take home some money in the process of it. Honestly, nothing super crazy with these. I think we kind of predicted the Odunze bounce back spot. We like Swift rest of the season. I think Monangai
8 targets, 5 receptions. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
Monangai's slowly creeping though. I mean,
I think I'm still hanging on to Monangai. Like, I think you can still play him certain spots. You just got to be careful. Like, I think he's viable for a flex in certain weeks, like when they have good matchups. But I'm definitely not dropping him yet.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still firing up Swift. Let's get into the next game, unless you guys got anything else.
Nothing big. Wandale, 11 targets. Just doing his thing. My take on Wandale, though, real quick, is he's just an ugly Khalil Shakir. Like, he's just on an uglier team. He kind of does the same exact thing. Short catches, maybe gets yak.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Next one, Bills-Dolphins. Dolphins upset the Bills, probably what was the biggest upset of the week. This was another awesome one for me. Devon A-Chain, 174 on the ground, 2 tugs, 51 through the air, 225 total yards. Check my math. I think that was right. Hell of a day for A-Chain. Waddle gets there again with another long touchdown. I think a big thing we were talking about when Tyreek went down, can Waddle really become that reliable wide receiver one? I think the answer has been yes. Like, he's been playing very well since Tyreek went down.
Do we say top 15 receiver rest of season? What's like a rough number you would just throw out there for him?
Let's pull up the wide receiver tiers. So this is what we had going into the week, or I had going into the week. I had him as my wide receiver 15, exactly, going into the week.
I'm so locked in
for the season. I think it's right about the same. I think maybe you can slide Pittman down a little bit. But that's kind of the thing I was saying about these guys in this tier. Like when we were talking about last week, is all these guys have like a true, like, no floor. Like they could go for like 2 points in every given week. And that's why I have these guys on B tier compared to the guys in A.
I feel like Jalen Waddle has the highest floor though. Honestly, him and Collins, maybe. Yeah.
Nico had a good game too, so maybe I need to move Nico up. But let's get back to the game. We'll go through. We'll do a full tier show maybe later in the week. Where we
Can
update our tiers.
Ollie Gordon truthers drop him now? Like, where are we
Yeah,
at with Ollie Gordon losing his RB2 spot to Jalen Wright?
I think Ollie Gordon's droppable for sure.
Only really
Jalen
one
Wright,
good
I don't know
thing
why
now.
the Dolphins keep throwing him out there. I kind of liked him as a prospect, but he's just shown nothing in the NFL. Like he's been nothing. Any takeaways on the Bill side of things? Does James Cook need to be a little lowered? Like, do we know we've seen this a couple floor weeks out of Cook? What do we think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Cook. It did kind of feel like the script wasn't there just because they were like down the whole game, so they were kind of having to throw the ball a whole lot. But it was also weird because it was like a rainy day, so like I don't know. I was watching before the half, and Dalton Kincaid dropped this like easy ball, tried to like body catch it, and just like slipped right off him. So I think that there's a little bit of wonkiness with this game just because of the rain. And then also with the Bills being down, so they're probably not rushing as much. But also now that I say that, you would think that they'd run the ball a little bit more with the rain. So I don't know. I think that I want to see one more week from James Cook. I know I say that a lot, but he's trending down a little bit, but I'm still not gonna like drop him a bunch.
Yeah, I think my only concern about him was last year. Let me see. Let me pull up the stats. He had 16 touchdowns, which put him at running back 8. This year he already has 7, and I feel like that's kind of where we're at with James Cook. Like he's probably got like a J.K. Dobbins type floor, right? Like 9, 10 points a week. But it's not really unless he gets that touchdown, which they should because they're a great offense, right? And they probably don't want Allen taking big red zone hits anymore. Unless they really get that, like I don't think James Cook is like that top 8 running back we have him at, you know. Another thing I noticed it's Keelan Coleman with those 8 targets. Encouraging to see, only brings in 3. My question for that is, did that happen after Kincaid got injured, or was that an all game thing? I wasn't watching this game. But I think that's interesting because I know a lot of people have been dropping Coleman. Like I know he's on a lot of people's waivers. Like I dropped Coleman in like every league I owned him. So
It was after the Kincaid injury. After Kincaid came out, they started spamming Keon a little bit. So we'll have to see if that kind of continues if Kincaid comes back okay. But it does seem like he's kind of the big body reliant guy, especially in a weather impacted game. You're gonna want a bigger target to throw to probably.
So a couple responses. I do think I'm gonna lower Cook a tier. I think these guys just the higher floor.
Clear.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I think he sounds more like these guys to me rest of the season. I also want to talk about the Kincaid injury. I feel like it's every other week Kincaid's going down with an injury, man. Like when is enough as a Kincaid owner? Like Dale, do you own him in our Dynasty League?
I do.
Are you frustrated as hell? Like, are you ready to like just give up on him? Like, what are your thoughts of Kincaid? Because this is it. Like I said, like I feel like he's just hurt all the time, man.
Yeah, no, this is probably his second, maybe third time being hurt this year. I don't know. I mean, when he plays, he's been producing decently, which I think is nice. But the injuries suck. Like it's.
Did he re-injure the same thing?
It was just like
downplaying.
He pulled, yeah, he had a little
and I saw today the report was that he's week to week, so it sounds like he's gonna miss a week or two at least.
That's pretty annoying. I think that
it's gonna be a spot for Dawson.
I don't know. Last year he was pretty mids, and this year he's been a little bit better when he plays. So, I don't hate it. I do have a decent backup tight end, so I'm okay. If Dalton Kincaid's my tight end 1, I think that I am pretty annoyed though. Yeah, it's frustrating for sure.
Do you think the Bills regret not trading for a wide receiver? Or do you think they're going to regret it?
I think they will.
Yeah, probably.
Because they were trying to use Kincaid as a receiver. Like, that's why I asked if the receiving usage for Coleman went up after Kincaid went down, because they were trying to use Kincaid as like their mid to deep threat, right? They were trying to use him to kind of stretch the field, and that's why he wasn't on the field all the time, right? And that was supposed to be Joshua Palmer's role. He's been injured all season. So then they are like almost forced to put Keon Coleman in that position, and he doesn't really do well. Like 3 catches in a tud. I don't think that's good. Like that's some Jerry Jeudy ad numbers, which I can't wait to talk about him in a couple of games, but we'll get there.
Yeah, let's get to the next one. So we got Ravens Vikings. As someone who's been a big, or not big, but like someone who's been kind of giving him the pass. I am now starting to become a little worried about 9, as he calls himself. Did you guys see that?
JJ, yeah, his alter ego. Dude, what is up with these Gen Z alter egos, bro? Like, I'm so over it. I'm literally Anakin. Like, I can't. The goofy quarterback.
McCarthy calls himself 9.
Yes.
That's a little
alter ego, bro.
That's
Here's my problem with McCarthy, though. I said this last week, and I'll say it again. You have 2 of the best receivers in the league. Jordan Addison is pretty good, in my opinion. You're putting up like not great numbers. Like you put up 250 yards, yeah, but that's because you threw 2 picks, so you just had the ball more. It's not encouraging. We're going into his 3rd year, and I'm not exactly excited.
Yeah,
should have kept Darnold.
I'm pretty concerned. I'm a JJ owner. He's, struggles to throw over 50-60% completion rate, which feels pretty bad. He can't consistently get JJ going or Jordan Addison going. I'm a little worried about JJ McCarthy. I know that we're saying he's young. He's still played maybe 5 or 6 games in his career, so it's not a whole lot. But if things don't pick up quick, I don't know if there's a whole lot to say. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if he's just, I don't know. He's getting the heebie-jeebies out there or something. Like I don't know. Something needs to change with JJ McCarthy. He's got to lock in or something.
The best ability is availability, and he ain't been available his entire career so far.
What are we doing with JJ?
Jefferson?
Jefferson, yeah.
Oh, dude, I've been saying I want him out the top 10. I've been saying it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this too. Like, if JJ comes back, if McCarthy comes back and he's just not, if he's what he was like the first week or whatever, then Justin Jefferson's going to have to be a kind of wide receiver too, right? He's not going to produce at the same level as these top tier guys just because the quarterback play isn't there. And as much as I love Jettis, and I think, he's the most talented wide receiver in the league, if somebody can't throw you the ball, then you're not going to get there. So it's
AJ Green, bro.
What are we doing? Okay, let's go through some of these names. And first, we'll go through A tier. Drake London or JJ? I think it's got to be Drake.
I think you drop JJ out of A tier. I would take all these receivers over JJ right now. I would borderline take most receivers.
Let's go through B tier. Let's go through B tier. Michael Pittman or JJ rest of the season?
I think you have to drop Pittman, but JJ right now.
Yeah, I'd say JJ.
T. Higgins.
I wanted to say I'll take Justin for the floor, but what floor? Like 5 points? Like his floor is no longer like as high as we used to have it. I feel like we're perceiving Justin Jefferson as what Jalen Waddle is doing right now, but he's not doing that. I feel like Justin Jefferson is giving us AJ Brown.
Justin Jefferson or Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle.
So disgusting. It's
a condensed offense. They only give the ball to HN and Waddle right now.
I think I'm Waddle too now.
But we were also saying, I mean, this is a Ravens defense that is healthy now. They've,
true.
I think that they've looked a whole lot better than they have earlier in the season. Do you think that is something to take into account? And do we need to look at the Vikings matchups for the rest of the season and kind of see what's going on there?
I know they do have a nice wide receiver schedule. I will say they have had tough matchups the last couple of weeks, and next week is a really good bounce back spot for them against the Bears at home.
They apparently have a beautiful.
Holy shit! I'm gonna be dropping a bunch of Justin Jefferson next week against the Bears. But anyways, yeah, I think I
I
don't know.
think the
Maybe
D tier is a safe spot to put him for now.
I think he's very capable of going back up to A tier if JJ shows us a little more. Like this isn't a knock on Jefferson at all. Like it's all situation based,
JJ's him.
right? Yeah, like we know Justin Jefferson could still go and get you 30 points any week if they give him catchable targets.
Yeah, I mean, he has the targets, but all the catchable ones go to Jalen Naylor. So, I mean, we see JJ McCarthy can support a receiver one type fantasy performance, right? It's kind of just unfortunate that you have two receivers in that offense that should be giving you that. And I mean, Addison's like a high end receiver too, in my eyes, mid end, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go back to the game overall. Let's go the Ravens side of things. Derrick Henry does Derrick Henry shit. 20 carries, 75 yards, except he doesn't score. Zay has limited volume, but still has a decent day. Mark Andrews gets in the end zone. Nothing really changes for me for the Ravens, to be honest. Defensive wise, like Dale said, and how I've been kind of shouting, like their defense does look a lot better. So I think you still see the greens on your matchups when they're facing the Ravens. Your guys are facing the Ravens in fantasy, but it's not as good as I think it looks on paper to target. You guys ready to go to another game?
Let's go Browns. Browns Jets, bro. Funny game.
Yeah, weird game here where the Jets scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, both off returns. No receiver on the Jets got more than 2 receptions. Justin Fields only completed 6 passes, and they somehow win the game.
What should we call it? Brees Hall's 42-yard reception was rack, right?
Yeah, it was a screen.
Yeah, that's
a screen.
So hilarious. Like Brees Hall is literally this team's offense, and it's so sad. It's so sad. Free my boy.
Garrett Wilson does nothing.
He played.
No, he got hurt.
He played. He still had 3 targets. When did he get hurt again? Because
Like
I think
early. I think
was it early?
Half, yeah.
Okay.
They gave Aaron Smith the designed run. Love that.
Yeah, no takeaways on the Jet side of things, to be honest. This was just kind of a predictable shit show against the Browns defense.
Well, takeaway on Jets, I mean, only startable player, Brees Hall. Like, Garrett Wilson's Garrett Wilson, but like, we've seen multiple games this year where Fields throws like 20 yards. Like, I don't think you can start receivers for the Jets, even Mason Taylor, who we love. Like, I think you can only start Brees Hall.
I think you could still start Garrett. You just got to be matchup dependent, right? Like if they're playing a team like the Browns, if they're playing a team like the Broncos, you can't start any Jets besides Brees Hall, like you said. And even Brees, like until he got that screen pass, like it wasn't looking great for Brees. He was still
he
not
had
really
a decent
doing
day
much.
before that. He had 80 yards.
Yeah,
probably would have gotten a rushing touchdown if this offense was half decent.
He was looking at a sub 10-point day until that screen.
Mm-hmm.
Brown side of things, any major takeaways? For me, I just think my biggest takeaway is that the Jets defense is now one that's not very good. They just allowed Jerry Jeudy to do this to them.
Yeah, not a bunch of takeaways here for me, honestly. Judkins kind of does what you expect. He actually gets a couple of receptions, which is a little bit interesting, but no touchdown there. Rest of it kind of seems like what you would expect. Jerry Jeudy has a nice day. Fannon's doing what he's doing. Yeah.
Quick note on Fannin and Njoku. They actually split like exactly the same amount of snaps. I don't think it's like a true 50-50. Like I think they're just both always out there. But we see like 7 targets for Fannin compared to Njoku. Like is Njoku kind of just moving into like a blocking tight end role and Fannon's just a receiving tight end? Like I think it's interesting. I'm looking at the split right now, and Fannin actually runs less routes when he's out there than Njoku, but he has 15 more targets on the season. So
Yeah.
I think that's like a very weird situation because Njoku always gets the touchdown too, which always pisses me off because I always start fanning and then I always have Njoku on my bench in Superflex and I always just watch it and I'm just like, are we being serious?
I don't think you
Yeah.
can play Njoku in fantasy, to be honest. Like, if he scores in a touchdown, sure, but like, or if he falls in the end zone, sure, but what, he scored a touchdown this week and still barely broke 10 points. Like,
Yeah, it's
he
just
doesn't feel great. Like, I think I'm fine with dropping Njoku in most formats. I like Fan a little more just because the volume's more there with him. And he could still get there without a touchdown, which is nice, but I think it will just be wheels up for Fannin once Njoku's gone.
Do you want to skip to the Broncos game for Atlanta real quick?
Yeah. Well, we already talked about the Broncos a bit earlier in the week because it's the Thursday
Oh, yeah,
night
Thursday.
game. I wouldn't say so. Yeah, ATL, just because I think Franklin is getting a lot of empty targets. Like, he's getting a lot of like the screen stuff, and Bo Nix is targeting downfield, but he's not connecting on him. Like, so it's.
Did
I
you
don't
see
think
that
it-
deep ball to Franklin where he like underthrew him?
Bro.
And
Yeah.
he had to got the 3 flags up that hoe. I was like,
Wasn't even
I could throw
close.
that ball, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo Nix has been pretty bad, to be honest. I don't feel great about either of them. I think it's just matchup dependent, right? Like against the Raiders, we really liked Franklin's matchup compared to Sutton's, and that's what ended up happening, right? The
Did
Raiders
we
weakened
already
the
drop
slot.
Sutton? Because I know at the beginning of the season I had him and Pittman right by each other, but I don't think that's true because of the quarterback play.
I probably need to lower Sutton. This is where we're at. We have him in C right now, but I think easily over these guys, and I think
he's a D guy now.
I think he's kind of
maybe
like
next
Debo.
to
Debo.
maybe above Debo next to. I would rather have Sutton than Ted, but I don't know. BTJ, bro, I kind of sent that hate comment in our group chat yesterday talking about how Kai Fairborn would be a unfair trade for BTJ because he has more points scored on the season. True, by the way, depending on your league settings. So I don't know where I'm at. The D tier is definitely like boom bust, guys.
Yeah. We'll get more of that ranking show. I need to think through that a little more. Let's get into the next game. So we got Buccaneers, Patriots. This one was a fun one. I picked the Patriots to win this game, and they came back and won it. Travion Henderson, we've been waiting for it. We got it. What do you guys think? What are your takeaways on Travion? Is it wheels up rest of season? What are we doing?
It's about damn time. I mean, I think you love to see it as a Travion Henderson owner. You know, you're probably drafting this guy in like the 4th round. I've seen 3rd round. So I think that if you're Travion owner, you're thanking the Lord right now, honestly. It looks really good for Travion. He finally breaks out. You know, he had a pretty good week last week too, but just absolutely crushes this week. Is he somebody that's like breaking into my top 10, 12 RBs? Probably not quite yet. But I think that you love to see it from Travion, and he's definitely a guy that you should be at least starting moving forward.
Hell yeah. This is why we told everyone to hold. Everyone was asking us if they were ready to drop him, and I said, give him a couple more weeks. Give him a week.
I'm in a weird spot with Travion because he splits carries with Terrell Jennings until he gets injured, and then he kind of just explodes rest of the game, right? But my problem with Mike Vrabel is he going to put the cat back in the bag? Like, is he just going to stuff this back in the box? Is he going to split him, like, maybe slightly better with Ramondre? Because Ramondre will come back. And Vrabel's shown that he loves Ramondre for whatever reason, right? So I am really happy to see Travion do this. He's on my worst fantasy team this season, and he borderline got me that win this week. But like, it's hard. It's hard for me to be excited.
For me, it almost feels
Go
like
ahead, Dan.
a little bit of a Rico Dowdle situation where it's like, how can I go back and start Ramondre as a coach after Travion comes out and does this as a rookie, as our, you know, 1st round capital guy? Like, it just feels like it's going to be hard for them to go back to Ramondre, you know, despite how much they love him. But I mean, I guess you have seen some crazy things in the NFL.
Yeah, I think with this Hendo stuff, I do think Ramondre will still have somewhat of a role back with this offense. Like, I don't think Travion Henderson's just now like the guy that they're handing 20 touches to a game. But I will say I do think it is really hard to put the cat back in the bag after a performance like this. Like, to Vrabel's credit, to this point, like as much as we like Travion Henderson, we knew he was capable of doing stuff like this. He hadn't shown it yet until this week, right? He had shown a couple explosive runs, yeah, here and there, but he was yet to like really break a home run, right? And now that he's broken the home run, it's like, okay, I'm here now. Like, I think it's really hard to go and put that guy on the bench now. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to get like 15, 20 touches a game. Like this game, he got 14 carries. But I do think he is the type of profile that can get 10 touches a game and still produce for fantasy, right? He's explosive. We saw what Devon Achane did this week too. Like, I'm not saying Henderson's Devon Achane yet, but he's got the home run speed like that, right? He's capable of making the big play. So I think Henderson, I'm really bullish on him rest of the season. I loved him coming out, and I was just waiting. It was encouraging to see this for sure. And I think I can see him getting more and more involved in the passing game too if he continues to be a part of this offense, because that was one of his strengths coming out. I do want to say too, like first touch of the game for Henderson, he was an ankle tackle away from breaking off another 70-yard touchdown. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was a pitch where he like cut back and the safety like barely tripped him up, and he would have been gone with another 60, 70-yard touchdown if that ankle bite did not happen. So close to being an even more monster day for him.
Yeah.
Atlanta, I love that question right now, by the way.
Josh has the same question.
No, I have the same question. I'm trying to sell Keenan in my dynasty league right now, and I might be looking to take a mid-third. But we'll get there. That's a really good question. What should we call it? Oh, I had an input on something that I
Any notes
totally
on you can think about it. Any notes on Mac Hollins? I mean, dude absolutely smashes this week. Does it feel like, it's hard to put anybody in the Patriots in your starting lineup? Is Mac Hollins a guy you're grabbing off the waiver wire? Like, how do we feel about the Patriots?
It might be a stream if Boutte misses some more time, but that's about
my
it.
take. I was gonna say I think it's a Booty thing. I think he just filled that Booty role and did a good job.
I didn't see that he missed this week.
I don't think Hollins is going to go away either. I don't know if he's going to be producing for fantasy, but I do think he's still going to be on the field. Because to our audience, like if you don't know this, Mac Hollins is one of the best run blocking wide receivers in the NFL. And on Travion's big runs, he was a big part of both of them. I think. I know for a fact he had a nice block on one, but I'm assuming a big thing that, I mean, as a football guy myself, as a coach, like how you make short run or like 20-yard runs, how you turn them into 60-yard runs is your team blocking down the field, right? And a large part of that is wide receivers. If your wide receivers don't have a willingness to get downfield and go and lay a hit on a safety, it's going to be harder for your guys to really hit the home runs, right? Hollins will fucking block. And I think that's big for Travion, breaking off the big plays. And we saw it in this game. And I think he'll be a part of this offense for sure, like just because of that. I don't know how it translates to fantasy, but I think he'll be a part of this offense.
Atlanta. Yeah. Hollins actually has been like the most like used receiver, but he just hasn't been getting there in fantasy because he hasn't had a receiving role. Almost like honestly echoing what Anthony just said about him being like one of the best blocking receivers. So I feel like just Booty being out, he filled that receiving role as well. And I feel like that's kind of a good takeaway to have. So, I mean, don't project him out for 10 targets, but he could easily be like a 4 or 5 target guy, gets you 9 points, could be like a Rashid Shaheed, Jameson Williams type, just, boom bust guy. Kind of think of him like Booty. Like, are we exactly excited about Booty? No. And Travion thought, Travion or Jalen Warren? Just quick, rapid fire, quick.
Travion.
I think Travion just because I like the offense, I like the offense and team situation more.
Travion or J.K. Dobbins?
Travion
or K9 Sharp?
Travion.
Okay, so like I feel like
he's going to be a big riser for me.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like we put him in the DeAndre Swift type tier.
That's kind of what I was about to say. I think that's where I'm going to be thinking about him.
I agree.
All right, we can move to the Bucks. I
Bucks.
feel like
Rashad White, Rashad ankle weights White, dude. I texted that in the Discord, but I swear if you like watch Rashad White run, it literally looks like he has ankle weights on. Like, he's just like so slow to run through the hole.
Najee Harris.
Yeah, like and just no, I don't know. I just don't think he's very good. He got some receiving work in this one, but 5 receptions, 16 yards? Like, there's Rashad White. Like, he'll get
that's
will
like
he
some
really do
Wandale.
anything with it?
Wandale stat line.
Egbuka has a big game. This is another one, kind of like the Dunze one we saw coming after some down weeks. Knew this one was going to be pretty high scoring one. K. Dotton. I think K. Dotton's a tight end 1 range guy now. Rest of the season. As long as there's no Godwin Evans, like he's getting fed these targets. Tez Johnson wasn't super involved early, but catches a touchdown late. 4 receptions, 2 tuds, 42 yards. You feel good if you played Tez. I don't think I have any major adjustments besides I think this Bucks team can't wait to get Bucky Irving back in the mix.
How long is he out?
Well, who knows with how they've been playing it, but he should be back this week or the next week.
Okay.
Should be, but we'll see. Who knows?
ATL says
Johnson.
Yeah. I did see that. Did you also see he tweeted like ban the hip drop tackle?
Oh no, that he got the hip drop tackle is also an injured Scotabo this year, no?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude, especially with like Dobbins' knee history, like I would be pissed too, bro. Like he got some delicate knees. Like I was surprised he went back in after the initial one. There was one where he had like this weird knee tweak, and then they put him in another play, and then he walked off. And I just thought it was like all very strange how they played it out. Especially having RJ Harvey. Like it's not like a huge downgrade from Dobbins to Harvey.
Yeah. To be honest, these next couple games, like I feel like there's not really too much to take away from.
We can skim through them.
Do you guys have any takeaways from any of these games you want to talk about before we get to? We've been going pretty long, so I want to talk about the game tonight before we get out of here. But any takeaways from Saints, Panthers, Jags, Texans, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Niners, or Lions, Commanders before we?
Tyler Shuck's overhated.
He
I
looked
think
pretty
he
good.
played pretty good, honestly. As much as I loved Rattler, you love to see Chris Olave getting there. Jawan Johnson, go pick him up if he's on your waivers. I benched Olave. Dude, don't get me started on my start-sit decisions sometimes, where I wake up at 10 a.m. and make horrible decisions sometimes. Rico Dowdle still getting that usage we love to see. I'm still worried about Tet. I've been worried about Tet all season.
He came up on the injury report too right before the game, which is something we need to monitor. Like that doesn't seem like he's gonna miss time, but he came up questionable on Friday night, I believe, with the hammy, and he still played through it, but it did look like he was a little limited.
That's all my takeaways from that game.
Juwan Jennings looked good. We might be a little bit low on Juwan Jennings.
Juwan looked good too. Yeah.
We're talking
Woody,
about the Niners game too.
Woody Marks, good game.
Yeah, Woody Marks had a good game. I'm just trying to think about anybody notable.
Nico, back to doing Nico stuff.
Schultz,
yeah.
11
targets. Parker Washington low-key smashed this week too.
Yeah, he had another good game.
Yeah, but he was kind of like, okay, look, Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers. That's a good question.
I mean, right now, Parker Washington.
Yeah.
I almost feel, I don't know why. I mean, what's the point of getting Jacoby if you throw 3 balls at him? I'm kind of out on Trevor Lawrence as like a dynasty thing. He looks mid, bro. He looks like Michael Penix out there, and Michael Penix is in year 2. Like, not excited about that. Davis Mills played really good.
The fraudulent one, Trevor Lawrence.
Thoughts on Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. Higgins with 7 targets, 5 receptions, Tud 42 yards. Jalen Noel actually gets used over Christian Kirk, kind of. That's kind of excited.
What were they doing, dude?
Let me pull up the snap counts for like.
Why did it take them so long to throw the ball to Jalen Noel? He's their best. He's their best receiver behind Nico Collins. Like, I don't understand.
Anthony's got a strong opinion, obviously. Let me pull up these snap counts. Let me see. Yeah, so Jalen Noel, Christian Kirk basically play the same amount. Same with Jaden Higgins, Javier Hutchinson. So it almost seems like they're transitioning Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins to be like starting receivers. They just don't really trust them yet, almost.
Mhm.
Long term, because I was cooking up some dynasty trades last night with a league mate. Do we think Tank Dell is just going to be non-existent in this offense next year? Like, I know it's like kind of a really random name to bring up, but like he played good his first 2 years. He's going to be in year 4. I mean, that's when they decide to extend him or not, right? Like,
Just
do
depends
we
on how he
think?
recovers from the injury, right? Like, is he the same guy? Who knows?
I almost feel like Jalen Noel is like basically what Tank Dell was, like damn near.
Mm. Yeah, I do think Tank Dell is a little like he showed a little more earlier than Noel has.
I think that CJ Stroud really likes Tank Dell too.
Yeah,
So there's like also that bit of
they're
chemistry.
boys.
But
Yeah,
I mean, he wanted them to draft him.
Yeah, and literally. So I think he has to take that into account. But yeah, it totally just depends on what he looks like back from injury. Yeah.
Woody Marks out touches Chubb 16-5 in this one.
Good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're slowly getting more excited about Woody Marks as an owner.
Mm-hmm. He's trending up for sure. Cardinals Seahawks. This game was over in the first quarter, so I have nothing to take away.
Crazy.
I
12
think
targets for Marv, only 3 receptions though. I mean, that's good to see that Jacoby's targeting him. I mean, him and Trey McBride seem like the only players who can start for the Cardinals, like this rushing attack. I don't want to take a huge takeaway from it, but like, I mean, if we're really having a split backfield between Bam Knight, Michael Carter, and DeMercado, I don't want any of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's gross.
Sad to see
Niners.
Shaheed.
Oh, Shaheed.
Yeah, it's sad to see he didn't do anything. I was really excited about him because the OC like matchup thing, same OC he had in the Saints last year.
I think he'll get more involved. That's something I did say on the trade deadline show is like it sounds good, but we need to give these names time to get involved with the offense. Like it's really tough for a wide receiver to get thrown into a new scheme, new offense. Although Shaheed is familiar with the offensive coordinator, it's still a new team, right? Quarterback still has no chemistry with him. Like that's something that takes a little bit of time. So we need to be patient with him. I do think he'll trend up a bit in the offense.
Atlanta, what the hell is this question, dog?
Yeah, I think I'd go for Beatty if I'm picking between these two, but honestly, neither. Just give me RJ Harvey. Yeah, I did see that. They gave Shaheed 2 jet sweeps. They had him as their kick and punt returner too. Lions Commanders, I want to talk about this one real quick because Dan Campbell was calling plays for the first time. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Dan Campbell started calling plays for the Lions, demoted the offensive coordinator, and J-Mo went for 119 on 7 targets. What do you guys think about J-Mo rest of the season? Is he moving up for y'all?
Where is he on our tiers?
Let me pull that up.
For me, he's always kind of been a boom bust guy where, he'll get you like, maybe he gets you like 4 and 80 and a tud, right? That's like his boom week. If he can start getting more receptions, then he's definitely going to have to slide up. And if this becomes a trend with, what's his face, Campbell calling plays, then yeah, I like it. But we'll just kind of have to see if that continues. But definitely interesting. Like if he can actually get some more receptions, and Jameson Williams is a totally different player for me.
Yeah. I'd rather have Jameson Williams over DJ Moore and Brian Thomas. Maybe Debo, but I mean, I'm not ready to give up on Debo and put him in E yet. But I feel like I can make an argument for JMO into D tier.
Yeah.
He's done it like, 2 or 3 times this season?
Last couple weeks. He's been trending up, which is good to see for sure. It was a great matchup for him too, though. I think that's another takeaway I have from this is that the Commanders secondary is one we just need to target rest of the season because they're slow. They can't cover. they really struggle with speed, and we saw that with JMO's performance.
Well, Shadow Report got this one wrong. They were saying that JMO had the worst matchup out of the 3 receivers, but he did the best compared to Amon-Ra, who had apparently the best matchup. Weird. Weird.
Who does it say he was matched up against? Did it say he was matched up against Sandstro?
Yeah.
Yeah. JMO? It said that for JMO?
No, for JMO, it has him across with Jonathan Jones, I think. Or no, it has him with Trey Amos. That's the left corner.
I think Trey Amos got hurt, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even know how to read the spreadsheet, TBH. I just read the grid. I need to look into how to read this spreadsheet correctly.
All right, you guys want to talk through anything else before we get into some Monday Night Football?
Are we missing a game?
We didn't talk about Niners or the game last night, but that game last night was fucking gross. The Chargers-Steelers one.
Let me see if we can have any takeaways. Lad McConkey, receiver 1 take, aging well for Ant.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about Keenan. What you doing, bro? We need to talk about Keenan for Atlanta. We need to slightly go over this game.
True. Yeah, I'm pretty panicked on Keenan. I was talking about it last week, but he just like snaps wise and roll wise seems to be the wide receiver 3. It does feel a little better for him if Gadsden is to miss some time. So it might be a hold where you gotta wait, maybe see if he has a big week this week or next week. And you can try and trade him after that. I don't know. Yeah, I did see Gadsden was getting the MRI. So that's not a good news for Aronde.
Yeah. I mean, Trey Harris playing a lot more too.
Yeah.
To ask Atlanta's question again, do we just tear down from Keenan Allen? Like we just sell very low on him just to get someone who's actually gonna contribute to our roster every week?
Guys, Garrett Wilson expected to miss the next 3 or 4 weeks with a knee sprain.
Yeah, I mean he has no reason to play anyway. He's out for the season.
Yeah, just drop him.
Like, but Breece Hall, bro, like,
oh my god,
if he tweaks his ankle, what point does he have to play? Like raise his trade value for the offseason? Like people already know what Breece Hall does.
I think with Breece though, like I did see something about this and this kind of changed my perspective a little bit, or at least made me think a little more about it, is that he is a free agent after this year. So if he were to just like sit the rest of the season out, he might kind of limit his money. Where if he is to kind of just ball down the stretch and show teams that like, yeah, I'm on a losing team, but it doesn't matter. Like I'm still playing through it. Like I think he'll be a little more sought after in free agency. I think teams will like that. Like at the end of the day, like these are people, right? And coaches like that type of shit. They like guys who are going to like play through the tough times, battle through adversity. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Breece play the rest of the season and like really play with a chip on his shoulder, especially too, like from the Breece Hall side of things. Like he's like, damn, no one wanted to trade for me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'll show them. Like, they could have used me, you know? And I think we saw that this week. He had a tough matchup against the Browns and still balled out.
Right.
Caleb Johnson gets the rushing work over Kenneth Gainwell this week.
No way. Dude,
very interesting.
Caleb Johnson is still nothing for me. That guy is.
I mean, Arthur
are you
Smith
picking him up off the waiver wires?
If he's on your waiver wire in Dynasty, maybe, but like in redraft, no.
Dynasty, bro, I might throw a third at him, like maybe 2/3, like
I don't
something
know if
worth monitoring. Just because, I mean, Jalen Warren is on a contract, I believe, that runs through the 2027 season. He's getting paid like $7 million a year, which I think is like. But the Giants were paying Saquon. Yeah, they were paying Saquon that much at one point. Like, it is a nice little contract for Jalen Warren, the undrafted free agent. I'm really curious to see how that backfield plays out next year and in the future. Because, I mean, you spent significant draft capital on Caleb Johnson, right? We also see Roman Wilson actually playing football for once. Oh, that's who I wanted to check the snap count for. He really hasn't played football since he's been drafted, and I think he was like a 3rd-round pick, maybe a 2nd-round pick for them.
Yeah. I think a bad drop from Calvin Austin, too, that led to a pick kind of opened up some potential opportunities for Roman.
Yeah, plays 29 snaps to Ben Skowronek. What a dog. I miss Ben Skowronek on the Rams. Plays 29 to Calvin Austin's 35 and Ben's 22. So it looks like they kind of don't know who their receiver two behind DK is. Dale, you want a victory lap? DK finally performing up to his 3 receptions.
Yeah,
Dude,
back-to-back weeks now at DK.
This is what I'm talking about, man. DK Metcalf, the no volume guy. I mean, been saying it all year. This guy is just he doesn't get the volume you need from him. He'll get a touchdown here and there, but it feels like the floor is pretty low.
I do gotta say with DK.
I don't know.
Not to bag defend, but this was a really tough matchup.
Yeah.
The way the Chargers brand of defense they play is a lot of zone, right? They play a lot of like everything in front, and we're gonna tackle well. If you know DK Metcalf, his whole game is winning down the field, right? His whole game is winning on go routes, winning down the field. Like the Chargers were daring under Aaron Rodgers to beat them underneath all day, and he just didn't have the weapons in his hands to do that. That's why you see so many targets to the tight ends. I think that's a really tough draw for DK, who obviously we know DK is not like a super nuanced route runner. Like him playing a type of defense like this isn't a great spot for him. But I do agree that him showing this floor is like we might need to lower him a little bit. But I think this was predictable. I think it was predictable. And also to his credit, Aaron Rodgers did miss him on a 60-yard touchdown, I think, on the first drive of the game, where he was wide open. You just missed
2
him.
more names.
Okay.
Quentin Johnston, Kamani Vidal.
I think we're right about QJ. I think the wide receiver. I think things are just coming more clear with this Chargers wide receiver group. Ladd's the most talented guy. We've kind of known that. Well, I've always had that belief, but that was kind of in doubt for the first couple weeks there.
Because of Keenan, yeah.
But QJ is the little more boom bust, but I think they used him a little differently this game. They were giving him a lot of like wide receiver screens, a lot of yak stuff, which I really like to see that for QJ. That just kind of raises his floor a little bit if he's going to continue to get that like short wide receiver screen stuff, run after catch. Like if they're viewing him as that guy, which I do think he is the best yak guy in this wide receiver group. So it makes sense that they're using him like that. But I think if we continue to see that, like that definitely helps his floor. And Keenan, I'm worried about him, man. But like I was saying, though, if Gadsden were to miss time, I think that fares well for Keenan.
No, I said Kamani, bro. I sent the little meme last night of what's his Colin Cowherd, the LeBron, bro. You can go now. Ben Simmons is here. Like, Kamani Vidal playing good, bro. Like, I think he's earned himself a little 30-70 split, little 35-65 split. Like, I don't think like you can X him out for Amarian Hampton. Like, what has Amarian Hampton's ceiling been while he's healthy? Like, yeah, I know he's a first-year player, but technically so is Kamani Vidal. Like, Kamani Vidal did not play last year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that if you were able to get Vidal off your waiver wires, you're stoked right now. And I think that he'll at least give you a few more weeks. Seems like the Chargers aren't going to be rushing Hampton back into playing.
Yeah.
So, do I love Vidal when Hampton comes back? Absolutely not. Do I think that he can maybe get some touches here and there? Maybe, but I still don't see him being fantasy viable. But
does that lower expectations for Hampton?
Slightly, perhaps, but I still like Hampton quite a bit.
Are you buying Hampton for a playoff run as a winning team in your redraft right now? And what are you paying for him? Same with Bucky while we're here.
As a winning team, like, I don't know. Probably not. I'd probably just want to stick with who I've been winning with, if I'm being honest. Like, I would trade like Dobbins for Hampton. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that that's like kind of, most people probably wouldn't do that. Yeah, it's probably a scam. Like
Dobbins, Tet.
Dobbins or Tet.
Dobbins and Tet.
Dobbins and Tet for Hampton.
High floor, low ceiling guys.
Maybe. Probably not. Actually, yeah, I probably. If I have good wide receivers, yes, I would. Because Bryce Young just sucks.
I got offered a trade in Dynasty, Young for Ward, straight up instant decline.
Yeah, instant decline that too.
I could see myself moving off of Swift maybe for Hampton. Like guys kind of in that mid-tier range, lower mid-tier range that have an interesting handcuff back. I think that I can move off of for sure for Hampton. But I'm not gonna go and trade like Javante or any of those guys in like B tier, I think.
So like a K9 type paired with a high-end receiver 3 would get you Hampton. Is that what we would pay?
I don't know if I'm trading K9 for Hampton.
Are we even wanting to get Hampton anymore? Because I like wanted to buy Hampton as like a late playoff run guy, right? Like I wanted to buy Bucky, right? I had said this like last week, wanting to buy Bucky, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a little worrying. Like I know Bucky's gonna get his role back in that offense when he comes back. Like maybe Sean Tucker might take like 3 carries or whatever, right? But Hampton Vidal, like we saw what Harbaugh likes to do. He likes to pound the rock and then just set up nice little pass opportunities for Justin Herbert, right?
Yep.
I will say the schedule for Hampton isn't great down the stretch. You look at, so I think realistic target for Hampton is week 13 because they have a game this week against the Jaguars, and then they have the bye week, and then they have a game against the Raiders. I think that Raiders game is probably the target timeline for him. I did see he was back in drills this last week, so I don't know if his 21 practice day window has been activated yet, but it either has been or will be soon. So I think week 12 is kind of when we can expect to see him back, or week 13, sorry. But the matchups down the stretch are tough, right? He has Vegas week 13, that moderate matchup. Vegas has been decent against the run.
Front 7.
Week 14 against Philly, that one's pretty tough. 15 against Kansas City, that one is tough. 16 against Dallas, easy on paper, but they did make some additions on the defensive line and the linebacker room, so it might be a little tougher than we think. And then week 17, fantasy championships, faces the best defense in the league in the Houston Texans. So it's not a great down the stretch schedule for him, which kind of makes me a little more cautious if I'm wanting to buy him. Because if I'm buying a running back that has a questionable schedule, I want to at least know that he's going to be the workhorse. And with the Vidal emergence, like who knows what that split looks like. I still think he'll be the starter, but
should we be getting him off our roster like the plague, bro? Like, should we be treating him almost like Bill? Like, I just want him off my roster. Like, he's doing nothing for me. He's on IR. I'm probably a 5-5 team, right? Like, probably middle of the pack. What do we do with him? And also, Atlanta, real quick, give me Tet over Keenan any day right now.
Yeah. I'm not quite there yet with Hampton. Like, I'm not like trying to offload him because I think if you've held him for this long, you might be better off just running it with him once he does come back. But if you are able to capitalize him off of him for I don't know, like would you trade him for DeAndre Swift? Would you trade him for Travion Henderson rest of the season?
I would probably trade him for Travion. One trade my brother was thinking about is you trading him for K9?
No.
Oh, wait,
I mean,
sorry, not K9. Kyron.
Same thing.
Or wait, is that
Kyron?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd trade him for Kyron. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You guys ready to get to the game tonight?
Yeah. Let's talk some predictions.
All right. Let's talk through this game. So this is a fun game. We finally got a good game on Monday Night Football. I'm excited to watch this one. We got Eagles, Packers, very even betting odds. Philly minus 106, Green Bay plus 104, Philly 1.5 spread, 4+ money. So we're seeing the Eagles as a slight favorite, but it's ever so slightly. And you're seeing the public really likes the Eagles. 78% of the bets are on the Eagles. 64% of the money is being on them. And most of the money on the spread is also being put on them, as well as most bets going to the over in this one. Before I give my general thoughts on these, do you guys have general predictions for money line, spread, over, under? What do you guys got? Fire them off.
I feel like I could see the Eagles probably covering this one. That's just the way that I would lean, I think. Packers are playing without Tucker Kraft now. I'm a little bit less excited about their offense. The Eagles have been okay. Saquon had a big week last week. I know that the Packers have a great defense, but I think that I'm probably more inclined to bet on the Eagles if I were to take a side.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I'm not really gonna overthink it. I just think they're the better team. Less injuries. Get AJ Brown back this week. I don't know how much of a difference you'll make. I just looked at their stats last year against Green Bay. During the regular season, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown both smashed. So I'm kind of in on the Eagles on the Packers side. Interested to see who emerges as who really steps up and gives you some fantasy production. Is it going to be Christian Watson with 2 touchdowns like we saw 2 years ago? I think it is now. Is it going to be Matthew Golden? Is he actually going to be worth the first round pick they paid for him? I'm interested. Is
Golden's
Luke
questionable
Musgrave
too, by the way.
not Luke Musgrave? Is Kraft being gone gonna be better for Josh Jacobs' touchdown upside? I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks for the Packers right now.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. How you feeling, man?
So I got the Eagles in this one. I already said that in the Discord earlier, but I like the Eagles. I like them to cover. And over under, I'm going back on fourth on, but I think I lean to the under, actually, if I had to pick. The reason I like the Eagles, I think this is the healthiest their defense has been all year. There's been some issues with Jalen Carter. He's back. Nolan Smith, starting defensive end, who was on IR, missed a bunch of time. He's back for them. They also brought back Brandon Graham out of retirement, who's very old but still a good player if he's anything like he was last year, and really helps out that defense, especially particularly the front seven. They added Jair Alexander in the secondary, which he's not playing yet in this one, so they definitely do still have some weaknesses in that secondary, particularly the outside corner too, right? We know they got Quinyon Mitchell on one side, who's a very good corner, obviously. You got Cooper DeJean in the slot, who will take care of business. But then on the outside, they've kind of been splitting between Adoree Jackson and Kelly Ringo. And I'm not a fan of either of those corners. So I think that is still the biggest hole in this Eagles defense. So it'll be interesting to see how the Packers play that, because there's some question marks with this Packers wide receiver room, and who's going to play. I really don't know who they're going to use to take advantage of that. Is it Christian Watson? Is it Matthew Golden if it plays? I'm really interested to see who they put Quinyon Mitchell on. Is he guarding Dobbs most of the game? Are they just kind of rolling out whoever on each side? I feel like if I were the Packers, I would want to have Dobbs matched up against Mitchell, and then try to draw up Matthew Golden matchups against Adoree/Ringo or Christian Watson, just because those guys are a little more explosive. But I say all that to say, I think this Eagles defense has an edge. The Eagles have been pretty good against the run. The only game they really got ran all over was the Giants Scatabo game, but ever since that point, they've been very good against the ground. I think without Tucker Kraft, I think that does hurt this Green Bay running game, just because of how good he is as a blocker. That's kind of a very underrated aspect of his game, but Tucker Kraft is a very good blocking tight end. So I think losing that and going to Luke Musgrave, who is not a good blocking tight end, is a pretty big shift for them. So that's something I'm interested to see. I also think that just looking at these numbers here, Eagles are way more efficient in the red zone. Third down conversions, Packers are better. Net yards, Packers are better. Better passing team. About even on the running. I just think this Eagles defense, I trust them a little more. Packers at home, though, does kind of worry me a little bit for that Eagles prediction.
Yeah.
Any player props that you guys want to dive into? I know Josh said Devontae Smith, and he was actually someone that I'm interested in for this game. So you want to start with him?
Yeah, let's compare him and AJ Brown's lines because I'm really curious if they've bumped up
I'll go to
Devontae
underdog
Smith.
then. So Devontae Smith is at 54.5.
As
AJ Brown
usual.
is at 56.5.
Wow. They bumped down AJ Brown from his average. Devontae Smith been like a perennial 54.5 guy. I love betting on Devontae Smith ever since I got him in Dynasty. His line is like always 54 yards.
I do like Devontae Smith. Oh, one thing I do want to shout though before we put anything down is that both the Packers and the Eagles are bottom 5 in pace, which is plays per game, and they're top 5 in running rates. So I do want to be a little careful getting over crazy in this game just because this might be a game that flies by and there's just overall not that many plays because both teams are really trying to establish the run and trying to like sustain like sort of long drives. So it might be better to look at it from a receptions market or I don't know. I just don't want to get too crazy on overs because of that. But I do like Devontae Smith. Like,
Yeah, to shout Atlanta right now. I'm looking at the shadow thing. Devonta Smith, AJ Brown both have very good matchups apparently, and weirdly, the only person who has a good matchup for Green Bay apparently is Romeo Dobbs, which is very funny.
so they're thinking Romeo Dobbs gets Adoree Jackson is what the shadow report has.
Yes, hold on, because they don't even have Adoree Jackson on
Is
here.
it Ringo?
They only have Cooper DeJean, Michael Carter II, and Quinion Mitchell listed corners for Philly.
I forgot they got Michael Carter. Yeah, Michael Carter's playing. Oh, so I guess that is they are getting their bad guys off the field. Who do they have Mitchell matched
It
up
says
against?
Romeo Dobbs is the right receiver, and then the left and right corners for Green Bay. I already lost Green Bay. Let me go find it. God damn it.
Eagles.
Yeah, is going to be Cooper DeJean right, Quinion Mitchell left, Michael Carter safety. So Romeo Dobbs right. I'm confused if it's like Cooper DeJean is like the covering the right receiver or if he's covering the left receiver.
more of a slot guy, to be honest.
Yeah, so I'm just like confused how this works. I'm probably gonna do research on how to read this list better, but
I don't hate that this hurts pass yards over. I do think Green Bay has been worse against the run than they were to start the season, but I think you still want to beat this team through the air. Maybe it's like a longest reception or longest completion is how we play it through Hurts. 34.5 longest completion. Maybe we can bump that down to like 30. That feels pretty good. Let me look into that for Hurts.
While you look into that, let me answer Mando really quick. We do believe in Hendo rest of season. Our consensus take is kind of treat him as Rico Dowdle Chuba right now. We don't really think that Travion has like 20 attempts in his upside case. He's probably going to be like a 10 to 14 a carry guy, splitting with Ramondre, maybe 60-40 in either way. But definitely high on him rest of season.
Yep.
We have him tiered with like DeAndre Swift right now.
I think I like this Jalen Hurts longest completion. Over 75% of games. You look at the last quarterbacks to go against them. Bryce Young didn't hit that, but it's Bryce Young. And then Rodgers and Brissett didn't either. Or did hit it. And then Joe Flacco didn't, which was kind of weird, but I think they're
just on Cincy, or is that outdated?
No, he was, because remember he played the Packers twice with each team.
How did he do when he was on the Browns? Can we look into that?
Yeah, I think so. The one thing I will say though, with the difference between the Eagles and the Cincinnati offense, right, is with Cincinnati, you don't really have to worry about the run. If I'm Green Bay, like my biggest threat is not letting any passes over my head. For the Eagles perspective, like you're still trying to stop the run. You're trying to stop Saquon Barkley. So it's a little easier to get beat over the top, which is kind of what leans me to take in this Jalen Hurts prop. Do we like a rush attempts line from Josh Jacobs? His line's pretty low, 65.5 rush yards.
I think they're scared about Jalen Carter, maybe.
Yeah,
And no Tucker. I wouldn't go yards, maybe. For once. Actually, I'm not going to give you input on the actual line you should pick. I'll give you input on the player.
Do we like a Dobbs receptions? Anything like that? Do we like a
Who's that?
Christian Watson longest reception?
Oh, why is he at 43? Where do
Christian
they have all
Watson
the Packers
longest
at?
reception sounds nice.
That's kind of what I'm looking at. I do think that this Eagles defense is pretty good against longest, but let me double check that. Go back to outlier.
I really want to see how they're projecting this Packers receiving core. That's very interesting.
Matthew Golden doesn't have any lines yet. I think it's just because it's still uncertain if he's going to play.
Yeah.
Longest receptions this year, Watson's gone over in both games. The Eagles have been giving up some explosive plays to Wandale, Jettas, Addison, Naylor, Wandale Robinson, Tyquan Thornton, C. Lamb, like have all gone over their lines. It looks like all the guys that have like lines over 20 have all gone over, which kind of makes me like that. I think playing it through longest is kind of a good way to play it this week, just because we talked about like the low volume this week, because both teams like to run the ball and both teams like to like sustain like these sort of long drives. So playing it through like a longest market rather than like a yards or reception kind of gives us an out where they only need one play. Let's see what happens if we bump Watson down to like this 15 number is pretty free. But I think I like the 22 and a half. That feels pretty good to me. Oh, I just realized I'm not even on underdog. Yeah, I like this 22 and a half for Watson. That feels pretty good. I also, what's his targets line at? Do they have a targets for him? Because I want to hate exploring that.
For who, Watson?
Yeah.
I just think the way they're projecting the receivers for the Eagles is very interesting.
Yeah.
Christian Watson's at 4.5 receiving targets on Prize Picks.
That feels pretty nice.
Doesn't feel bad, yeah.
Longest reception for Smith and AJ Brown is 21.5, and then Goddard's 14.5, by the way. I just think it's weird how they basically have the same picks for Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. I think they have AJ Brown one more target for his line.
Yeah. Oh, this is an interesting note. So Eagles are without their starting center, Cam Jurgens, which is an interesting thing to keep in mind, because does that make them less efficient if they try a tush push? Is Saquon Barkley a potentially sharp touchdown bet just because of that? What do you guys think?
I like
Damn,
that.
they took out vulture insurance, huh? I hate that.
I kind of like that process behind that.
I do too.
I think Saquon, Tud, this three feels pretty good. Do you guys like this?
Yep.
Okay.
34.5. Yeah, I don't hate that one.
I'm envisioning a deep bomb to AJ Brown down the sideline.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand with like the Saquon, or we could take Saquon rush attempts or yards instead of the Tud, or even fantasy. And then should we mix in an under in this slip too? We talked about not really liking this game script as like what Packer could we fade? Like Romeo Dobbs, 54.5 yards feels pretty high. Has he been hitting that? I guess he has. First reception, 10.5 yards for Romeo Dobbs. That is a gamble and a half. So I probably won't use that. What about like Brandon McManus field goals? Or like a Luke Musgrave under.
His targets was at like 5, I think, which feels kind of a little bit high. I don't know if he's just going to come out and have 5 targets. Like, I know they like their tight ends, but Is Luke Musgrave really going to be the guy like drawing targets for you this week?
Isn't he more of a receiving tight end?
I feel like isn't that Tucker Kraft?
I mean, you guys were just talking about how Tucker Kraft's the better blocker.
Kraft is more of like an all around. Musgrave's more like a big slot, like speed sort of tight end.
Okay.
What do we think about? I actually do kind of like this Brandon McManus field goals because the Eagles they're really good in the red zone, right? And the Packers are kind of struggling in the red zone. So McManus field goals could be a sneaky play. If you look at kickers against the Eagles, they've allowed pretty much everyone to go over this, except the Chiefs, who we know the Chiefs are very good at converting drives to touchdowns. And then the Giants were just awful in that last matchup against them. Or wait, no, this is the game that Cam Scatabo and Dart went nuts. I kind of like this McManus 2 field goals. That feels pretty nice.
I don't hate it. I've got McManus on my team. I do, betting on a kicker it kind of feels like a gamble, but he's been hitting it.
Yeah.
So.
I think there is some process behind it, though, right? It's not just like, yeah, he'll kick 2 field goals. It's Eagles are good in the red zone.
Yeah.
Packers are struggling to convert in the red zone. Can see some drives. They have no Tucker Kraft, right, which is obviously another big red zone target for them. So I could see some field goals in this one. I might lock in this 4-man and then maybe do like a 2-man with juiced payouts. So like we'll run this. I'll put $6 on it. Why not? And then let's cook up one more for $5.
I have such a bad take.
Do you want to take something like Devontae Smith and bump him up? Like bump his.
I want to take the under on Devontae Smith targets. I just feel like that's a bad bet, so I'm actually just gonna put that out there, but I don't think we should add it.
I probably am gonna have to jump here. I'll give you guys one more shout before I do hop off, though.
All right.
If the center on the Eagles is hurt, I might be able to see them, throwing a couple checkdowns or something to Saquon Barkley. His receiving yards is 17.5. I don't hate it. There's my little shout. Take it if you want. Don't gotta take it.
14 here on underdog.
Oh, 14. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
I think that is a nice shout.
All right. That's my shout. Thanks for having me on the stream, guys. If you watched, appreciate it. Congrats, Ant, on that huge dub this week.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
See you, boys.
All right, later, Dale.
Deuces.
All right, we'll talk through one more slip, and then we'll get out of here too.
How's the Saquon stuff look on Outlier?
I'm looking at it right now. Let me share it. Receiving yards. He's been pretty good against he's like 50-50. Green Bay is ranking unfavorable to running backs.
He got 23 last year against Green Bay.
Yeah.
And 4 the next time they played him.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough data that's telling me to take it. It's more like a gut feel play, so I don't know if I'm going to take it, to be honest. It sounded good in theory, but the more I looked into it, I don't know.
Christian Watson boom week seems like very real. I just feel like we've seen it happen before, but
should we explore like let's get fun. Let's bump Christian Watson longest reception to 35 or 30.
Is that how you got? He's been getting like 85 yards, 58 yards off of like 2 catches. So,
I mean, look at the
game log because I don't
this.
even know
This is the longest receptions because I just had it up. In both games this year, 33 and 52. And then last year he went over 35, 6 times. So if he was going over 22.5, he was going over 35 typically last year.
What's his touchdown multiplier? I also like the longest reception.
1.5.
What does the longest reception give us when you bump it?
To 35, 1.47. So basically 1.5.
Which one do you like better? He hasn't been getting that touchdown roll like he used to.
Yeah, I think I like the longest. Let's take that.
That's in reference to Atlanta. I don't know if you've been checking the chat. Atlanta, your fingers aren't that chubby.
What do you think of Dallas Goddard, Tud, or Devontae? Longest.
I want to be in on Devontae, but I feel like the Bucks are like discounting AJ Brown way too much. I don't know. I know I've been like hyping up Devontae Smith basically all week, talking about how AJ Brown's valued the same as him now these days. But I don't know if that's gonna be reflected in the actual game.
AJ Brown. Longest reception is at 22. If we bump him to 30, we get a 1.25x. Let's see who's been getting, because AJ Brown has hit the over in 3 of 8. Let's look at Smitty.
I really want Smitty just to own this receiver core so bad, but I just know he's too small.
Smitty's been over more consistently.
Can you check splits when AJ Brown's playing too? I mean, he's only missed 1 game actually. It's not really that important.
Yeah. I don't know, to be honest. I think I might like playing it through a touchdown more than the longest market for them, just because it's 50-50 who it's going to go to. Whose touchdown has better odds?
Devontae Smith has a bigger multiplier.
What about Goddard? Tud has pretty nice multiplier, and we know
How tight end's been doing against the Packers.
Let's check that out.
He's been running kind of touchdown hot this season too. He's only missed 1 week recently. Flea Flicker says he has a light matchup against Green Bay.
22nd in tight ends touchdowns.
Which tight ends have been getting there? Does it show you?
It was McBride scored 2, and Tanner Hudson scored 1. Last couple weeks, no one scored, but like none of these tight ends are really good. Yeah, let's do Goddard. Why not? I'm also playing against him in fantasy, so that's a nice way to hedge the bet.
Yeah, nice little win-win.
Should we add one more to this, or does this feel nice as a 2-man?
What is it payout wise?
5x, but I might have a boost.
Underdog had a 40% boost on mine. I mean, I can never use them because I'm in Nevada, but no fun state.
All right. So we bump Watson to 35. Goddard touchdown. Yeah, I have a 40% boost. So that gets it to like 6.9x. $5 pays out 35. Maybe add one more leg.
Always that third leg though. Oh, they put Golden up.
They did.
I saw you scroll past him. Yeah.
Oh, it's just touchdown though. They don't have anything else. Emmanuel Wilson, has he been getting? His line seemed kind of high. Like 20.5 yards is
too
high for him.
Are they worried about Josh Jacobs? Why is it so high?
Yeah, because Josh Jacobs is low too. I
think we can just leave it at 2.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at 2. I don't want
too cute.
Yeah, this game isn't anything super crazy, so we're gonna lock that in. I'm gonna lock it on my phone, so I'll get the boost. Let me pull up the slips. I'll drop the links in the chat if anyone wants to tail those boys. Yeah, I gotta get out of here too, but let me show these picks real quick.
Last second shout.
All right, so these are the slips we got. We got Hurts longest, Saquon Tud, Watson longest reception, McManus field goals. My favorite 2 of these are probably McManus. I like all four of these, to be honest. I think Hurts, McManus feel good, and then the 2-man of Watson, Goddard. That's what we'll run for today. I got to get out of here, but appreciate y'all for hopping in. Anything you want to shout last minute before we get out, Josh?
Devon Vele, 70 snaps this week to Chris
Ooh.
Olave at 46. Other takeaway, Alvin Kamara, damn near season high in rushing. My very doo-doo brain takeaway, Devon Vele, probably a really good blocking receiver. I think he might have a role in this offense. I think we might see a small boost to Alvin Kamara with better quarterback play from Shuck. Someone I would keep an eye on. I know he's on waivers in a dynasty league of mine. I'm gonna go put in my waiver wire pick, even though I have like waiver wire priority 12 every week because I always do that. I always just pick up random players, but someone to keep an eye on. Maybe see how him playing more affects Alvin Kamara. I think it'll be interesting. But I saw that because I was interested on how whatchamacallit, Chris Olave was doing. It wasn't 70. It was 58 snaps to Chris Olave at 36, Cooks at 33, and Mason Tipton at 23. But that's still like significant. That means he's damn near on the field every play. And guys like that eventually have a spike week. Something to keep an eye on.
For sure. It's an interesting one. All right. That's going to wrap it up. We'll get out of here. Appreciate y'all that hopped in the stream. Make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all. Join the Discord. See you guys in the next stream. Peace.